How many times have we tried so hard to perform something to show to our friends or family, but it just doesn't go right? And then as soon as everyone's not around to see it anymore, it all seems to click. Ironically, the more we strive to be less unhappy, the more unhappy we are. Could it be that our propensity to put so much effort into achieving contentment, happiness, and freedom from unhappiness is precisely why we aren't? Well, Alan Watts might have something to say about this topic and how our brain works in such situations. Therefore, we observe the paradox of willpower, which forms the cornerstone of Alan Watts's law of reversed effort, often known as the backwards law. According to the reverse law, the more we pursue something, the more we end up getting what we really do not desire, and the more unhappy we become. Or to put it another way, our chances of success decrease as we work harder. On the other hand, when we give up attempting, we will achieve our goals. So how precisely does this law operate in real life? And more particularly, how do we achieve our goals without attempting to do so? How else can we achieve our goals without putting up any effort? Particularly in a world where we are used to working hard to achieve our goals, this sounds like an impossibly insane way to live and chase our dreams. Self-control can be used to achieve goals in the outside world. For instance, if we wish to become wealthy, it will probably take work to amass the required amount of wealth. And if we want to get in better shape, it will take many days of hard work in the gym to grow some muscle. The backwards law, though, transcends material accomplishments rather than being so much about them. Getting what we genuinely, desperately want is the goal. It's a quick route to the prize that we're all searching for. But what is our goal then? Although our goals are entertaining, these things are merely subpar copies of the real thing. They are the items we think will help us find what we're looking for. The backwards logic, however, shows that the more we look, the less we find. The further we strive after these external conditions, the further we will stray from what we actually want. What do we want then? Do we want to be happy? If so, what exactly is true happiness in life? Is it something we can gain through relationships or financial assets? We can't define what we really desire, says Alan Watts, so we do not really know what it is. Can it really thus be that what we are looking for is hidden by our search for it, and that we're looking for something that seems impenetrable to us? However, if this is the case, then why do we keep looking for it? The human problem is a communal misconception that suggests that changing or acquiring external things, such as possessions, money, body modifications, or beauty, can essentially free us from our sense of lack. The contrary is true, as the backwards law demonstrates. We feel deficient because we are not happy with the way things are right now. We struggle more with the greater dissatisfaction we have. The more change we require to be satisfied, the less satisfied we are. Imagine that you've decided to achieve your objective of becoming a millionaire because you think it will make you happy. Having such a target necessitates a great deal of effort in order to achieve it, but it also means that being so far from it saddens you, since it causes you to feel incompetent in comparison to the position you want to be in. No matter how much money you actually make, the more badly you want to be wealthy, the poorer and more inadequate you feel. You would therefore feel even more insufficient and consequently more dissatisfied if you increased the quantity of money required for you to be joyful. The finish line would be considerably closer to where you are if you significantly lowered the threshold, which would reduce your sense of inadequacy. Nevertheless, we continue to set the bar high, often well above where we now are, and as a result, our sense of inadequacy remains strong and persistent. Because of this, we have a compulsive urge to seek more than we actually need. The mind experiences shortage because it thinks that there is something lacking from the reality that it cannot identify, and as a result, we continue to seek solace in situations that seem more enjoyable than what is. A famous writer, Mark Manson, once stated, "Ever have the experience where the less you care about something, the more likely you are to get it?" That's because confidence comes from a comfort with failure. And paradoxically, the more comfortable you become with failure, the more likely you are to experience success. This is just how our brain works. You feel great when you accept flaws. When you accept you're alone, you are content. We can try to be flawless, but we can't. Embracing a terrible experience can actually be beneficial. However, resisting a bad experience makes you suffer a lot more. Alan Watts once said, "When you strive to stay on the surface of the water, you sink. But when you try to sink, you float." In the same manner, if you try to sleep, you'll stay awake because of your desire. You won't fall asleep until you give up. We'll be content when we give up trying to be happy because there is nothing more we could possibly require. We'll live in abundance once we quit trying to be wealthy because we'll be happy with what we already have and view anything extra as a blessing. So the only way to not desire something is to not want it. And the backwards law teaches us that. Knowing how the retrograde law operates doesn't imply we should never have desires, pursue progress, or establish goals. We can undoubtedly find countless reasons why we should alter things up and refuse to accept the way things are. The reverse law does, however, caution us against believing that pursuing happiness would ultimately lead to happiness. This is a very common belief in this day and age, which we completely misunderstand, as the complete opposite seems to achieve that for us instead. I hope you can take something away from this video. Thank you.